What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the Rundown. As always, I'm your host, Michael, alongside Jeff. Jedi Fallen Order's out.
Yes, it is.
Excited? Well, of course you're excited. You already beat it.
Yeah, I did.
So, can you give us a spoiler-free review of what you think about it?
Oh, that's a good, yeah, actually I can. So basically this game takes place between episode 3 and 4, right after the execution of Order 66.
Right.
So basically, you know, that whole plot line is Emperor has the Jedi hunted and killed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Cal is one of the surviving Jedi that manages to escape. So he's kind of held up on this planet called Braca, working basically in like this old shipyard. They're taking like decommissioned Imperial Star Destroyers and kind of breaking them down for parts and stuff like that. And he's kind of like a Padawan, you know, so like over time you start mastering more of the Force, get, you know, able to use your powers a little bit more. It is a very, very beautiful game. The skyboxes are amazing because it's not like open world. It's kind of like that Destiny setup where it's like an open area, but it's not necessarily open world. So the skyboxes are just absolutely breathtaking. The graphics look amazing. One of the cool things I noticed is like when you're running or like sliding down a muddy slope or something like that.
That's pretty cool. I do like that. That's fun.
If you look, his hair is actually like blowing in the wind. It's really, really cool. And when you jump in the water and you go underwater, there's a rebreather that he uses.
I didn't know that. I haven't gotten that part yet.
Yeah, so if you ever get into water, hold square and he'll actually dive down. Yeah, really cool. Lots of lightsaber customization, lots of ponchos.
Yeah, there is a lot of I have noticed that. A lot of ponchos.
Yeah.
I do like how, so when you die from battle, you restart from your little save point. But then if you walk off the edge or something along that lines, you kind of just respawn right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then, but see, if you get killed in battle, it actually takes away whatever XP that you've earned.
Yeah.
But you actually get that XP back once you hit the next enemy the next time.
So it's just hitting them. It's not having to kill them.
Actually, I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny if it's killing or actually just getting damage on them. One of the two. So that's pretty cool. Like, it's kind of a give and take, like a risk reward type thing.
Right.
It's a really neat way to do it. So I think they went about it the right way. It's makes you want to be more cautious. When
was it a lengthy game?
Depends on how you play it. Like if you go to each planet and do all the exploring and puzzle solving that you can, it can be quite lengthy. I'd say probably like 30, 40 hours. But I mean, if you kind of play like I did, you probably do it about 16 to 20.
Okay, I mean, that's not bad.
No, don't. And it's definitely got its replayability. The cool thing about this game is it is very much, I guess, like Dark Souls. As much as people were wanting to make that comparison, I didn't want to at first, but it really is because you know you have to make sure that you're dodging at the right time and parrying at the right time, blocking. So it's really intense at that point. I played it on the easiest setting just because I wanted to get.
You just want to enjoy the story.
Yeah, and it's still tough. It's still tough. So, yeah, knock on me if you want, but like I'm more when it comes to single player story driven games, I focus on the story. Like,
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, so I was talking to Beam the other day, and I was telling him about how I wanted to finish like a certain location before I moved on to the next, and he explained to me that you know there's going to be certain chests that you can't get until later on after you learn certain abilities. So that kind of, I mean, it's kind of good in a certain kind of way. You know, it keeps you from running off and getting sidetracked and maybe eventually getting bored or forgetting where you're at or what you were doing. So
yeah, because if you start out with one ability, which is Force Slow.
Yeah.
Which is new to the whole thing. It's kind of like that Kylo Ren ability where like blocks the blaster bolt in Force Awakens.
Like right there at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when he blocks that, but not. It slows like the actual person down too. I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you do need to learn like your push and pull and stuff like
Right.
that, and that's later on in the game, and so that you can come back and like get the stuff that you want.
Are you okay with the fact that there wasn't any good or evil choice paths in the game?
No, I don't like that Paragon system. I mean, like, I got it in Infamous, cool, whatever, but like...
I mean, you got it in the older Star Wars games as well.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, I never played KOTOR. Like, I never did. That was, like, just something I was never into.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything against it. It's one of the better Star Wars games of that time period, but this one was definitely heavily focused on this story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really drove me to it, because I love a good Star Wars story.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely back then. If I recall correctly, back then it was story driven, but not as hard as things are nowadays. But very like hack and slash story.
It was like a hack and slash with like an RPG mechanic.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
The one thing I can say I do not like about this game,
Mm-hmm.
and this is very minimal, and it's probably something stupid, but let's say like you've gone all the way to the end of the map, right? Like all the way to the end of the map, in the very bottom of the cave. You can't just like fast travel back to your ship. Like you have to get back out and figure out a way to get back. Like there's shortcuts that you can unlock along the way, but like you can't just fast travel back. So that kind of makes it a little bit lengthier, in my opinion. But
I think that's more on the developer state of mind. Is look. We've put X amount of hours in developing this level and making it look good. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to like what you're walking around and seeing.
Right.
So, damn it, look at what we did.
Yeah, you're going to stay in here for a while. Just think about what you've done.
Well, speaking of Knights of the Old Republic back in the day, as of yesterday or the day before yesterday, so 2 days ago, the original Xbox turned 18 years old.
That's so old. I remember having an Xbox, too. Like, that was so long ago. And that was 2005?
Yeah, around in there. Long story short, not getting into it, Birthfather came back in at around that time frame, and as a way to swindle my heart, he sent me an original Xbox in the mail.
Aw.
No, because the bitch didn't work when I plugged it in.
Red Ring of Death.
Oh,
no, they didn't have the red ring.
No, this was the original Xbox.
Yeah.
The big black one. So I actually...
Just bricked.
Yeah, it's just a brick console, so I sent it off to Microsoft, and sure enough, they like a month or 2 months later, they finally sent it back and it worked. But yeah, I had Halo with it. Halo was one of the few games I actually remember having for that console. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so much to talk about today. Phil Spencer's interview on Xbox Scarlet. New Sonic the Hedgehog trailer reveals the speedster's redesign, and XO19's review and highlights. We'll go ahead and jump into first. Did you get a chance to watch that at all? Did you catch any of the updates? Or
No, I was too busy watching my new Disney Plus subscription.
Yes.
Wait, okay, I know we want to get into that, but can we talk about The Mandalorian for like just a hot minute?
Since we're already talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, that show is so good. Like, it's a Star Wars story that we've been wanting. Like, it's incredibly well done. The action, the way the Mandalorian acts, like the ships, the creatures, the other people that are in the show, like the Easter eggs, the everything. It's very, very well put together.
So out of the 2 episodes that have premiered so far, do you have a favorite character?
Well, I mean, obviously Mando's really awesome. I like Nick Nolte's character a lot, just because he's almost like Yoda, but like, I don't know, it's just more of like a smart ass kind of. It's like, blah 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 blah. I have spoken. Okay.
I like the self-destruct droid.
Oh, IG-11.
IG-11.
Yeah, he's funny too.
Every little inconvenience, I'm going to self-destruct now.
Yeah, I want to say he's like in more episodes than that.
I hope so. He was super funny.
Because he could carry that show as
well.
Yeah,
and have you seen the memes revolving around that now?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of memes. I've got plenty on my Facebook where it'll be something along the lines of, a waiter has a bad night waiting tables. It goes to IG-11. I'm going to self-destruct now. Or, one little minor inconvenience, or like stubbing your toe as you're walking across the living room. I'm going to self-destruct. Because he said it like 5 or 6 times. Yeah. He's like, no, you're not going to self-destruct.
That's amazing. Like, I don't want to give too much away, but like, if you haven't watched the show, I mean, there's like...
Well, no, I mean, no. Shit on you if you haven't watched the show. Yeah. 2 episodes in. I mean, there's not really...
Yeah, there's that huge spoiler. Like, okay, so we're just... Fuck it, we're going to give it away because the show's too good not to talk about. So the end of episode 1, he finds out the bounty that he's actually supposed to go after is a little baby Yoda, and he's got to bring him back.
So I'm so not in... to like I love Star Wars. My very first movie as a kid, my parents ever took me to go see was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I've loved them, and I've watched them ever since, and I've played the games and everything like that. But I haven't really gotten too deep into the lore of how, because there's so much there.
There is so much. It's a lot, dude.
So with there being so much there, I didn't really know too much about what was going on. So when I saw this, I was just like, oh, cool. Like, this must be a prequel way back when. You're like, that's Yoda. That wasn't Yoda.
No, it's definitely not Yoda. This is like...
Because I texted Beam, and I was like, dude, is that who I think it is? He's like, who do you think it is? I was like, that's Yoda. It's like, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about it, but... yeah, it's definitely not Yoda. It's Yoda's species for sure, or race, or whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely not Yoda.
No, because it's set way after Yoda died, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah. This is between episode 6 and 7. So it's right. Right after the fall of the Empire and all that stuff. So it's and that's why like you see like the stormtroopers that are in there with the I forget the guy's name. The guy that sends him out to get the bounties or whatever. That's why they're all like dirty and like all that stuff, because they've been still trying to do Empire stuff. But
who's never watched a Star Wars movie?
You've never watched a Star Wars?
No, he hasn't.
Who?
The guy that sent you out to do the bounty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny as hell.
I saw an article like the day it premiered or something. I was scrolling through and I looked at the article, and the article headlined, "So-and-so's never seen a Star Wars movie, but does enjoy a good WrestleMania match."
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he also the director?
No,
he's not the director.
No. John Favreau is doing all that.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is why I think it's so good, because like, dude, there's not a lot of stuff that John Favreau's done except for like the Jungle Book that hasn't been good, and Lion King, but anything not animated is really good by John Favreau.
No, the Jungle Book and the Lion King that you're talking about, these are all the live action ones, or ones that he did? Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he did like the first 2 Iron Man, and he's always been like...
he didn't do Dark World, did he?
No. He's always been like an executive producer throughout Marvel, doing stuff. Then he had the movie Chef. He did Swingers back in the day, which is a really good movie. He's just all over the place, and he's as much of a fan as the people he makes it for,
right?
Which I think is why it helps become so good in a sense, because he puts so much dedication, because he knows what people want to see, so he'll make sure that goes on screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a great show. I love how you did share the timeline frame. So apparently, I guess there's only 8 episodes this season.
Unfortunately. So yeah, so if you guys haven't figured out the schedule now, it's premiered Tuesday with an episode.
Right.
Then we got an episode Friday, and so now it's every Friday after that and through December 28th, I believe.
Backtrack, episode 6 or 7 will actually come out on a Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? I thought it was every Friday. Really?
It was every Friday, but then I looked at your thing and I was just like, oh, that's not a Friday. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I need to.
Yep. So it's actually chapter 11 that'll be on a Wednesday, which I mean it's fine. I mean it's like the second to last episode.
Yeah. So that's Well, it's chapter 7 on December 18th, and then chapter 8 on December 27th. So that's when it'll wrap up. Nice little way to end Christmas.
It's kind of weird though. I wonder why they did that. I guess maybe like scheduling or something. Who knows?
Well, I mean, they've been saying they don't want to throw all the episodes out at once, so they want to stagger release.
Well,
it.
yeah, no, that part I definitely get. I just meant like why that
not?
one's coming on a Wednesday and not 2 days later on that Friday.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, sooner the better. If I could get 2 a week, I'd be happy.
Do you think Disney's trying to train us now not to binge watch anymore?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like
telling me how to watch my movies.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like Netflix is the one that's like, oh hey, here's everything all at once. Knock it all out in 3 days, and then you're gonna be miserable for
it's
a
like
year.
Like a parent trying to get rid of their kid. Take this, go away.
Yeah, fine, whatever, go take it. And then like Hulu and Disney Plus are gonna be like, oh, and HBO are like, oh, well, hey, take your time, follow the story. We'll release it when it like every week, like normal.
Well, from what I've heard, is that Apple TV is gonna also start doing this as well.
I have yet to see anything on Apple that interests me.
The only thing that's coming out on Apple TV that I want to watch is what's his name from the Breaking Bad? Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah.
Truth. It's supposed to. It looks really good. It's got the lady from Ma in it. So that's legit the only show on that whole entire series for now that I want to watch. I mean, of course, I'll definitely be checking out other stuff because I do have the whole free for a year code thing.
Yeah. That would be the only way that I would like. I'm not gonna pay for this.
But I mean, I'm not a big. Jason Momoa was cool. I'm not that big of a fan of him. The Emily Dickens show with Haley Steinfeld. That looks fun, but it's not my type of show. You got the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. I think Michelle and I might watch that together.
It's got Steve Carell in it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be kind of like The Office a little bit.
I don't know, Not at all. It's more of a drama center.
Oh, so it's no comedy at all.
No, there's comedy, but it's that dry sense of humor. Yeah. So, and of course, it's a new streaming show, so of course they'll put out more stuff as time goes on. But I mean, who knows? We'll check it out.
Yeah.
That's probably why the whole first year is free, because there's not really a whole lot there to watch it to begin with.
Exactly.
So, all right, man, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, so of course Microsoft had their XO19 in London, which is super cool. Not too long, a few days ago. Microsoft started out the show with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Stig Asmussen, game director. Basically just kind of started out the show with basically how proud he was of his team and how far they've come and how they knew that what we needed was a story-driven Star Wars game. Next, they showed the world premiere from Rare, Everwild, the same company that made Sea of Thieves, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country. Next up was a world premiere, and most of these, honestly, so I don't have to keep saying it, about 90% of these will all be world premieres, and they'll all be going to Game Pass at some point. A lot of these didn't have dates, but ones that did, I will reference those. World premiere from Obsidian as well, Grounded, which is a new survival co-op. Basically kind of looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids survival co-op in the backyard. So you're like smaller than an ant, kind of like Minecraft. You're out there building, trying to survive, not get eaten by ants and spiders and this, that, and the other.
That's actually kind of cool.
It was. It looked super interesting. I love the artwork, and that's something I've started to realize now that I've gotten older, is no matter what type of game it is, whether it's a first person or a third person or an indie or an FPS or an RPG, if the art looks really, really good, I want to try it.
What's this game called again?
Grounded.
So
what did you think of the trailer?
It's interesting.
I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty much a survival.
Yeah. Like you said, I like the artwork a little bit. It's cool. Is it all first person?
That I'm not sure. I honestly don't know too much about that one.
I mean, it looks cool. It's got the like Fortnite building system. I don't. I mean, it doesn't interest me to want to play it. But it's neat.
Next up from Upstream Arcade was West of Dead. It's a very like Diablo style, kind of where the camera's above. Ghost Rider meets Red Dead Redemption 2. Very fast-paced shooter. You walk around with a guy that looks like Ghost Rider, a little burning skull. Very like, I'm not gonna say cartoony, but it's like whatever you would call that kind of artwork.
That's cartoony.
Well, I mean, not.
It's like anime style.
Yeah, very good. Like that more anime style graphics. Sea of Thieves got an update, new modes, cosmetics. They get their new monthly update dropping November 20th, so a couple more days for that. Another game called Rust from Face Punch Studios. I want to know how they came up with that name.
Rust?
No. The name of the studio is Face Punch Studio.
I don't know. There's a lot of studios that have weird names that I'd like to figure out where they came from.
So that's going to be another multiplayer. It's a multiplayer only survival co-op game. That one's actually coming to PS4 in 2020. So if you remember the Kart Rider game for the PC, it was a really, really big on PC. Kart Rider Drift will be coming 2020 as well. Bleeding Edge, a fast and frantic 4v4 team brawler where every fighter is pretty much on their own. So that one is really, really interesting because it's a fighter game, it's a brawler game, but you kind of like customize your character and what you're on and this, that, and the other to kind of help you in battle. It looks fun. That's going to be launching March 24th, 2020. You did Planet Coaster coming summer of 2020. So pretty much Planet Roller Coaster building theme park.
Okay.
Tell Me Why from the studio that brought you Life is Strange. I want to play that because from the trailer that I saw for Tell Me Why, the story of that just looks really, really good. You have a couple who can actually, they share memories and they share feelings and, you know, what one person dreams about, the other person actually feels, and so on and so forth.
Is this the one that they were talking about? It is. Just pulled it up. There was like it's the first transgender protagonist in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
So that story to me, from the trailer that I saw, looked really, really good because it followed them from kids to adults. So I like the Life is Strange series. So I really think I'm definitely going to give that one a shot. The Artful Escape from Super Strange coming summer of 2020. Then they did jump into some xCloud is the all-around new thing that Xbox is going to be getting into to compete with Google Stadia, which if you don't know, xCloud is the all-around cloud software to play your Xbox anywhere. So from your tablet to your phone to your PC to whatever mechanical device that you have. You're going to give it a shot? Or let me say this. I know you're probably not going to give Cloud a shot, but are you going to give Google Stadia a shot?
Probably not. Because you got to worry, because that's like it's browser-based gameplay. Like they're putting all the emphasis behind it that it's going to be good, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't like what if my Internet Explorer isn't like that good, or Chrome or whatever? It's probably Chrome if I had to guess.
So I don't vacation a lot. I'm never somewhere where I'm at where I can just sit for a long period of time and just not have anything to do, because usually I'm at home or I'm at work.
Yeah.
I have, maybe like a kid's dentist appointment, something for Michael Samuel. So like if I'm at work, I'm working. If I'm at home, I have my Xbox or my PlayStation or my PC. So it's not really something that I need. But if you're out and about somewhere, or if you don't own that system, then that makes sense to me. But
well, and they're focusing there's not a lot of games at launch. Destiny is one of the ones they're focusing really hard on to make sure that one's going to be smooth running. But
for Google Stadia, you're correct.
They focused a lot on that one, which I get because it's one of the biggest, online games right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, if I'm going to play Destiny, I think I'd rather play it on like a console or PC, not my internet browser. Usually when I'm playing Destiny, my internet browser has like YouTube pulled up.
Which is so weird because I really do think Xbox is going to dominate Google Stadia, because they're already going to have over 3,500 games ready to go at launch.
Yeah, and how many does Google Stadia have at launch?
That I don't know. We'll get into that a little bit more later because they're not... Apparently, there's not going to be a whole lot at launch that they promised. Everything's going to be coming later on.
A developer lied to us? What? No way.
Ken from EA, you were weird, dude. You probably didn't watch. You didn't watch the thing.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
Ken from EA, who's what I'm calling him, was just super weird, overly happy. Sounds like he was being force-fed lines. Or maybe it's just he knows how much people hate EA and he was just trying to like fake his happiness, but that was a weird dude. We're getting all the Yakuza games are coming to Game Pass. Drake Hollow from Molasses Flood coming 2020. Halo Reach also coming December 3rd to Game Pass. Microsoft's Flight Simulator coming 2020. Also Age of Empires 4 and 2. 2 is available now. 4 will be available in 2020. Crossfire X, which is superly anticipated from Smilegate, coming in 2020. Last Stop, new Minecraft Dungeons, and Wasteland 3 will all be coming in 2020.
Is Minecraft Dungeons is that like a DLC or is that a expansion or?
It's more like an expansion.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And then they went off into a Phil Spencer kind of interview, basically saying that Microsoft isn't going to repeat its mistakes from the Xbox One with its next-gen Xbox console. They quote, "I would say learning from the Xbox One generation is we will not be out of position on power or price," says Phil Spencer, Microsoft's Xbox and gaming chief, in an interview with The Verge. If you remember, we were way less powerful, and we started Project Scarlet with this leadership team in place with the goal of having a market success. The market success will be key for Xbox after years of falling behind PlayStation sales and questions over the game's lineup. Either way, Spencer thinks that there's plenty of generations of Xbox ahead. We've had the discussion years ago. Do we want to do another generation? And yes, we do. We think there will be multiple generations ahead of us. I actually think there probably will be, says Spencer. We're going all in, and we're going all in on Project Scarlet, and we want to compete, and I want to compete in the right way, which is why we are focused on cross-play and backwards compatibility.
Yeah, it sounds like Project Scarlet's going to be way better than what we had before, especially when they have that much focus on that one project from that many people.
Right.
Then I would expect it to be, way more powerful than the Xbox One X or S or whatever. So if they're putting that many people on it, then something to look forward to.
I really like how he, he came out and I don't want to say take responsibility, but took ownership of, stating that, if you remember the beginning of this generation, we were $100 more expensive, and yes, we were less powerful. Yeah. Which I think is really, really cool of him to take ownership like that. Essentially, that kind of leads back to what Sony did as well a couple of weeks ago when they were patent filing or trademark filing for, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I think we're going to see this battle well off into our old age.
Coming holiday 2054, PlayStation 9.
Who knows? We might have a PlayStation X. We'll be buying our son. I'm buying you a PlayStation 10. I remember buying my PlayStation 1.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean, who knows where we'll be.
It's Ready Player One, or it's just gonna be like mind implant chips that you just like.
I'm ready. Sign me up. Put it in my brain. I'm ready.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if you want that. You gotta think like, hey, I got this little chip in my brain. Like, this dude might be able to take control of it and have me go do stuff.
But that'll make one hell of a story for the grandkids.
But you imagine playing that game a chip in your head, and then you kill somebody in a multiplayer game, and he starts sending you hate mail. And it's just coming through the chip in your head. You're at a family dinner or something, and it's fuck you, weeb, you're hacking or whatever, and it's you're sitting there trying to eat mashed potatoes.
Game Awards is coming to the big screen. The Game Awards 2019 is headed to cinema screens next month. 2019's show is going to be bigger than ever because fans will be able to see the event on the big screen for the first time. Kaylee took to Twitter today to announce that the Game Awards would broadcast to 53 Cinemark theaters across the United States, alongside The Rock and Jack Black. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Part of me wants to do that just to say that I did it.
But I mean, do you have to pay for this?
Probably. You're a movie theater.
Yeah, but I can just watch it live stream.
The experience.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, it's not worth it. It's a Cinemark, dude.
I go to Regals, so
yeah,
I don't know what Cinemark is.
Yes, I'm an AMC guy, so
I go to whatever one has the IMAX right beside my house.
That's the one at the mall, right?
It's behind the mall, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a Regal, actually.
I think it may be Regal. I just know that it has an IMAX. Okay, fine. Starting with something that doesn't make sense, Anthem is getting an overhaul. Recent silence and a couple of high-profile departures from Bioware have led fans and pundits to speculate that the studio has abandoned its most recent game, Anthem, but the opposite is true. For the last few months, Bioware and parent company EA have been planning an overhaul of the online shooter, according to 3 people familiar with those plans. Some call it Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next. Many of the details are still in flux, but there is no clear timeline for the Anthem's next project just yet. In fact, we've just heard the developers of Bioware haven't even decided how it'll be distributed yet. They're still figuring out whether the update should be released all at once or over an extended period of time. Anthem could be overhauled through a series of updates, and a la No Man's Sky, it could get a game-changing expansion like Destiny's critically acclaimed Taken King. Most of Anthem's biggest systems, its mission structures, its loot, its world, will change drastically, but the developers have not yet figured out exactly how or what that will look like. They're even considering releasing Anthem Next as a brand new game, although those who work on the project said that it could take a lot of forms, and it's unlikely they'll charge full price to Anthem players.
They better not charge any price. That better be a free fucking update. Oh, all right. Time, Jeff Tangent time.
There's your little 1.5-minute snippet that goes on Instagram.
Okay. So how... Okay, so I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this real quick. All right, so you're telling me that you're going to overhaul this game, but then release it in segments or all at once or as another game.
There's a bunch of ors because they don't know how they're going to do it yet.
Because there's 7 people that still work there. Oh, my Christ. Okay, so... and What has been my mission statement for games like this from the beginning? If it doesn't work, take it down, fix it, and then put it back up. Not hard. Fix the fucking game. Don't make me pay for it again.
Well, there's kind of no point in taking it down because there's nobody playing it.
I mean, you're right. Oh man, this has got my blood boiling, bud. Because the fact that they think that they can put a price point on a re-release of a game that was never working. I paid myself along with other people paid the $80 price point for that deluxe edition. Right. So and then I got $30 worth of content. So how about you take that $50 that you didn't give me and then just put that towards credit for the next release that you plan on releasing? Little fuckers. I don't even want to play this game anymore. I want to delete it tonight. That makes me so mad, dude. Fuck this game.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about actually putting it on my PC and just playing the story out. That way I could at least know what the story was about.
The lore's cool. That's about it.
But now that they're actually gonna be redoing the whole game, you know, I'll probably just actually wait. No, I don't believe that there needs to be any kind of extra money or anything along those lines. Just give me a 60, 80, 90 gigabyte update. Let that shit update for a whole day because you know that's how long it's going to take. And just give me a brand new game and let's call it even. You know, and I'll come and test it out and I'll let you know if I forgive you or not.
Yeah, this is just... How are they plan on overhauling this?
Well, that's the thing. They don't know.
They don't know.
Just said, Anthem's biggest mission is exactly what or how it will look like. They're even what will change drastically, but the developers have not figured it out yet. Whether it's the mission structure, it's loot as a brand new game. So
look, EA, just because you made Jedi Fallen Order without microtransactions or loot boxes doesn't mean that gives you the right to take this game down and then make people pay to have it put back up. Like, don't do that.
No.
EA is the worst, man. God.
Well, BioWare, you can't. They refuse to give up, and I respect them for that. I do. Yeah, if anything, bitch about it breaking consoles, bitch about how bad the game sucked and everything that wasn't there. But the fact that they are still trying to at least make things right, give them at least 2% of credit for that.
I'll give them 1.
Okay, fine. Deal.
That's generous.
That is okay. It's just
only because it's the holidays.
But it is the holidays. But you have to also think about games like No Man's Sky. The game was pure shit when it came out. I hated the fucking game.
Dude, that game was completely overhauled by like the same amount of people that made the first one. BioWare is a huge company, way bigger than Hello Games.
Okay, yes.
And they've got EA backing them. And they put out a worse game than an indie developer did. Worse game.
This is very true. It's very true. Okay. But the principle of the matter is the game got overhauled. It's better now. You can sit in chairs. Okay.
And it's in virtual reality.
And it's in virtual reality. This is another one that keeps going back to, and I really need to research some more answers, or if someone would love to give me some more answers. The Division 1 completely got overhauled. Mm-hmm. Now, the only weird thing about that was, as much as I do love the Division 1, by the time that game was overhauled and redone and was actually perfect, the second one was already coming out.
Right, yeah. And there was way too many other AAA titles to focus on.
Right, exactly.
Division. Like, I think Destiny had a pretty big expansion come out. Right.
Did Destiny ever go through that point where the game just sucked and they had to do an overhaul?
Yeah, Taken King.
So that's essentially what that was.
So pre-Taken King, and then like whenever Destiny 2 came out, it got a really big overhaul with Forsaken. Mm-hmm. So Forsaken was like the Taken King, but like a little bit smaller, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
And so usually like what happens with Destiny is they'll put out the vanilla, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll put out like an expansion or like a DLC or whatever, and then they're like, oh man, here's our big drop for the like year 2, right? So by the second year of the vanilla version, there's like a complete rework and overhaul of everything. So the Taken King was that in Destiny 1, Forsaken was that for Destiny 2. And they keep improving on the game. Like they're just making it better, like quality of life improvements and buffing and nerfing what they need to. Division's never done that until like right at the end.
I'm still waiting for the revamp on the Division 2.
Yeah, what is going on with Division 2 right now? Like, is it still popular? Like, I mean, is it still like a pretty big player base? Because I mean, I know the Facebook community is pretty active, but like, I don't hear a lot of like news about it or anything.
I think with a lot of certain games, the Division has a very, for the people that do play it, they have a very dedicated fan base. The fan base that they do have that's dedicated, I think they're a lot more PvP players than anything, because once you're outside of all of that, it's pretty much, after you've done all the missions and you've done, all the loot and finding and things that there is to do, they've implemented this new system now where if you're looking for a certain piece of loot, the map will actually tell you what missions and what area that you need to go and play to increase your chances of actually getting that one piece of gear. And now that it's doing that, everybody pretty much just plays it to try and get that perfect gear. That's really all there is to it. There's one more on their roadmap. There's one more piece of DLC that has to drop, which is where we go back to New York.
Oh, that might be kind of cool. This is like summertime now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's really about it. I was able to go back and do my last mission to get my gun. But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of exotic weapons that you can go through and do. You can matchmake in the raid, but you don't get any of the so...
none of the raid specific stuff.
Right.
Like, so I can't get like a Eagle Bear or anything like that, or green gear drops from matchmaking, because Eagle Bear is like the raid auto rifle, right?
I don't remember. I want to say no. I really want to say I'm pretty sure the Eagle Bear is the handgun that I have.
That's Liberty.
Oh, it's Liberty. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So they create a raid that you can't find enough friends to join, right? So you go into matchmaking, and then they punish you by not giving you the stuff that is in that raid because they made it to where you can't find enough people to play with you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's.
I'm glad you know.
That makes all the sense. All the sense.
All right, moving on. Stadia is going to be missing features at launch. Google Stadia is a week away from launch, and today Google held an impromptu Reddit AMA to answer some last-minute questions. Unfortunately, Google also took this time to reveal which features won't be available on Stadia at launch. Google Stadia Director of Product Andrei Doronchev and Publisher Experience Lead Barry Lee hosted the Reddit AMA on the official Stadia subreddit, where they answered some questions awaiting Stadia users. The biggest revelation is how Stadia seems to be taking a gradual approach to feature rollouts in Stadia. Our approach to releasing features on Stadia is similar to how we run Google Search, YouTube, and other Google services. We gradually roll out and continuous improvements based on your feedback. As a result, there will be some feature Google's advertised early that won't be all available on Stadia at launch. These features include Stream Connect. Google's version of the local co-op will be available by the end of the year. State Share, the feature that shares save states, won't be available until next year. Crowd Play, a feature that lets streamers play Stadia games with viewers. Achievements. Google Stadia will record achievement players earn at launch. There will not be a UI notification for achievements until shortly after launch. The Buddy Pass. The Buddy Pass is a special perk for the Founders Edition of Stadia, where founders can gift 3 months of Stadia subscription to a friend. The Buddy Pass will ship 2 weeks after you receive your bundle. Chromecast Ultra support. Kind of Stadia will be able to stream to a Chromecast Ultra, but at launch, only Chromecast Ultra that will ship with the Stadia controllers will be compatible. We will be updating the existing CC's Ultra over the air soon after the launch. While Google never promised these features at launch, it appears that One Stadia will be just the first step in the evolving platform. And Google would like to remind users that even if they don't get their Stadia controllers on day one, Stadia makes it so that they can stream games to their Chrome browsers or Pixel phones on day one with a Stadia account.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. I'm good. So my biggest question to everything that I just read is, if you're not going to give me everything with it, why release it to begin with?
Exactly. And the people that pre-order this don't even get the controller?
You are not going to buy a car if it doesn't come with the tires. You're not going to buy a phone if it doesn't come with the charger. You're not going to buy milk for your refrigerator if you don't have somewhere place. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right. This is dumb. This is bad. This is bad planning.
And this right here is why Microsoft is ever evolving. And this is why, yes, they do lose and they are far behind sometimes and whatever the hell you want to say it, but they are learning from everyone else's mistakes. And it makes no sense. There's no point.
Well, I can already see the people that pre-ordered this a long time ago, like when it was announced. Mm-hmm. And then come to find out they don't even get their controller day one. And they got to use their mouse and keyboard.
Or their Pixel 4 phone.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Mm-hmm. Wow. Good job, Google.
Somebody who is doing it right. Of course, I'm sure some of you knew it was all over Twitter and IGN and everywhere else. New Sonic the Hedgehog trailer reveals the speedster's redesign. So I don't really have an article for that one. It's just really not much to read on it. People bitch. A studio listened. We got a redesign that looks way better. Thank you.
Cool. Next. I mean, like, who cares? I didn't care. Like, I don't even want this movie.
I mean, I don't want the movie either, but I want to look at it from the principle of it.
Right. Well, no, I get that. Okay. For one, it gave Jim Carrey a job. Awesome. Two, like you said, a studio listened to feedback from the fans and restructured it accordingly. And I was watching actually Corridor Crew on YouTube, and they actually do a VFX artist react. And
I think I've seen that pop up, but yeah.
And the newest one, they were reacting to the newest trailer, and they're talking about how, like, they don't think it was just like a reskin. Like, he thinks they went in there and had to like reanimate everything because you couldn't just transition the graph from that character onto a new skirt.
Yeah, no, that's actually an article I read too. Was they had to go through the whole entire movie and just redo the whole entire thing.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of changes to if you look at before and after, a lot of changes. It looks more cartoony, but in a better way, I think. But like at the same token, like, I don't care. You know, like I get what they're trying to do, and hats off to them for actually listening to fan feedback, because a lot of people don't. A lot of developers and producers.
Hey, here you go. Just deal with it until we fix it later.
or just this is our, what we wanted it to look like. And I get art's up for interpretation, and I'm always a big fan of that. But at the same time, like, it's a video game movie. What do you expect? Like,
I'm sorry, I don't. So yes, art is up for interpretation, but that wasn't art. That was
no. But I mean, that was an abomination. But to me, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to even get behind this at all or form an opinion, because like it just doesn't affect me at all. Like, I have no emotional reaction to this. Like, are you gonna go see it?
I'm gonna go see it because I have a 5-year-old who wants to see it.
And does he know about like old, like he knows like Sonic and everything?
Yeah, he has the old the old Sonic games downloaded on his tablet.
Perfect. Okay, so then at least.
And if I'm not mistaken, there is an older Sonic cartoon, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
but it's a cartoon,
right? But I mean so I say that because he watches that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
So he should know a little bit more than what I believe. Let's talk about product placement. I love product placement. Do you remember how heavy I think it was Krispy Kreme was in like the Power Rangers movie?
Yeah. They went to a Krispy Kreme.
Monster Energy stock rose with Death Stranding release. The stock price for the Monster brand energy drinks received a nice boost on Friday, the same day Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding hit store shelves. Before you jump on us for comparing apples to oranges, think on this. Monster energy drinks play a big role in Sam Porter Bridges' long trip across the United States. If it's just a coincidence, then it's an amusing one. Well, I mean, when you're walking all that way, Jeff, you got to have the energy, you know.
Yeah, I'm more of a Red Bull guy, but I get it.
Redditor Dummytran posted the correlation on Death Stranding subreddit. They captured a snapshot that shows Monster stock closed at a $58.16 on November 8th, compared to the $56.64 on November 7th. That's quite a jump. I looked up Monster stock on Yahoo Financial charts, and the numbers check out. In fact, Friday was the highest closing for Monster energy drink in over a month. Is the jump in Monster stock prices really a Hideo Kojima production, or is it a weird coincidence? Hard to say for sure, though. It is worth noting that Monster's price is down again, slightly to $57.78 at the time of this writing, and this might be the biggest bump stock that's received all fall. Monster share seemed to speak in summer. No doubt because of the major sporting competition, concerts, and sponsorships. When people move indoors and cease being extreme for the year that they don't drink as many energy drinks unless a weird game tells them to, or unless they're our own Mike Williams. That was funny. Yes, there's a lot of Monster Energy in that game. I don't know. I'm not going to say that I think it's a coincidence, but I'm not going to say that I don't think it's a coincidence because I'm really not sure. Because
slightly influenced, maybe.
I think slightly, yeah. But I mean, stock prices change drastically all the time. You know, I think my stock right now, I'm up. What am I up? I'm up 12 cents on mine. So I mean, and it'll probably drop to 8 cents. Oh shit!
Cash them out now,
right? Get your $6.
There you go. What was Lenovo? I think wasn't it Lenovo in the third Transformers movie? Mm-hmm. Got a huge bump and like a lot of sales because of that. But I don't
know about you, but personally, I love Lenovo.
Yeah, I don't. But I'm not like a PC guy either, so more of a Apple kind of thing. But or Mac, however you want to call it. But I don't. Monster's been. Dude, Monster's so big, like because it's in a video game. I think it's coincidence, or maybe marginally influenced.
You ever seen the meme of the Monster Energy symbol that apparently correlates to the devil?
Oh, dude. There was some lady that went on a huge ass tangent about that too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It was the greatest thing in the world.
That was so dumb.
But I'm telling you, man, you need all those Monster Energy drinks to travel across the United States.
We still don't know what this game's about, though.
Yes, you do.
Is that baby?
I'm going to tell you.
Is that baby floating in?
I'm going
is the
to
baby
tell
floating in Monster? Is that what that is?
Nope. I'm going to tell you what the game's about, so that you can never give me this bullshit excuse about how you don't know what the game's about.
I will not pay full price for this game.
You don't have to, because I'm going to tell you what it's about.
Oh, cool! I don't have to play it at all.
Speaking of Death Stranding, Kojima, U.S. criticism of Death Stranding. By Alicio Palamumba from WCCF Tech.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah? How is he?
Oh, he's great. Wife and kids are doing great.
Awesome. Kojima Production has finally released the first game since becoming an independent from Konami. Death Stranding officially launched 2 days ago on PlayStation 4 with a PC version scheduled for next summer. In an interview with the Italian publication TGCom24 published on the release day, Hideo Kojima had the chance to discuss the early reception of critics, while the average score was quite high. There was some low scores as well, as coming mostly from U.S. publications. Kojima attributed this to their preference for first-person shooter games, whereas Death Stranding is, in his own words, flies higher. I must say that the game received rave reviews, especially in Europe and Japan. Here in the United States, however, we have had strong criticism. Perhaps it is a difficult game to understand for a certain type of critic and audience. I'm sorry, I'm trying hard to get through this. Americans are great fans of first-person shooters, and
yeah, let's just cut this down to what it really is. Is that Hideo Kojima thinks that
I'm gonna get through this. Americans are great fans of first-person shooters, and Death Stranding isn't one. It flies higher. It says, I always try to create new things, and disputes and discussions are fine, but it must be said that the Italians or the French have a different artistic sensibility that allows them to appreciate this kind of original product. How the fuck did Greg Miller get through this? Not only in one video game, but also in cinema. Indeed, Kojima described it as a strand game, whereas pretty much every shooter and action game in general are stick games. Death Stranding has combat, of course, but it's far from the main activity in the games as a vast majority of other releases. With regard to the direction that Kojima wants to steer the studio towards, he mentions straddling the line between independent and AAA game productions, mainly because this allows him to still have his own mark. It's a bit of a challenge between independents and blockbusters. I want to be in the middle and take the positive things of both of these worlds. It happens that these very authorial games are sold maybe only in Japan and leave without a low budget. But when they try to propose themselves abroad to become international products, they lose their soul a little as their creative director's imprint slowly disappears. The larger project becomes the more creative face disappears, which also applies to Western games.
This guy's dumb. It's your game. It's your studio. You made this. You are you are the company behind the creative director. This is you. This is you. Come
But I get
on.
what he's saying.
No. We're too dumb to...
No, what he's saying is that Jeff is an uncultured swine, is what he's called.
Oh. Fuck you too, buddy. God.
So, since I've started this podcast and I've started talking about this game, the number one thing that you have always said to me is you have no idea what this game is about.
No.
So you no longer have this excuse because I'm going to tell you what this game is about.
Oh, man.
All right?
Load me up. I'm ready.
It is set 10 years after an event known as Death Stranding pulled large segments of North American population into the afterlife. You play as Sam Porter Bridges, a legendary porter in the remnants of the United States of America. Following the event, a new material known as Beryllium has spread across the world, crippling the remains of civilization, its vast infrastructure, and forcing survivors into an underground bunkers. As a result of Death Stranding, a supernatural rain known as timefall regularly coats the land, which instantly ages anyone or anything exposed to it. With so many new dangers out in the quiet post-apocalyptic landscape, not many people are willing to venture out into the outside world. Recruited by the President of the United Cities of America, Bridget Strand, Sam, works with the organization Bridges to help rebuild the nation and discover what happened to a previous expedition that sought to restore the country. To do that, he'll deliver cargo across the fractured remains of civilization and reestablish various strands, a line of communication connecting survivors and different way stations across the nation. These various strands will bolster a network allowing more people to stay connected and leave their fear-included isolation. During his expedition, Sam will contend with supernatural entities and insurgent forces that now inhabit land. In the aftermath, the Death Stranding event, the line between life and death has blurred, allowing creatures and individuals once thought to be dead to cross over into the real world and the other way of realm. There you go. So now you cannot say that you don't know what the game is about.
Couldn't this have just been a movie? Couldn't this just have been a movie?
But Hideo Kojima just said that he, with regards to the direction that Kojima wants to steer his studio towards, he mentioned straddling the line between independent game and AAA game production. It's a bit of a challenge between independent and blockbuster movies. He wants to straddle that line. Okay. Okay. Now, back to the topic at hand here. Americans are dumb. We gave his game low scores because we are dumb and we don't understand his art.
What? Okay, I see the art. I see it. Okay. Focus.
I'm focusing. I'm so focusing.
Okay.
This is great.
Okay. Now, I see the art direction that he's using, right? So, like, there's the BTs and the BBs and the PPs, right? Because
Thank God for those filters.
Yeah. Get it because the urinary, the pee game that you can do?
Oh, the PP, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Good joke, Jeff.
Yep.
So
I honestly forgot about it. I was more into the interdimensional breastfeeding.
Oh, that too. And then taking a bath in milk, looks like.
I saw the shitting scene.
Oh, there's a shitting scene?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Super artistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bodily fluids.
Interpretation is art, man.
Yeah. It's the gameplay that makes no sense. Like, I have to travel in real time for an hour and a half walking over rocks and I could die. Oh, and then I got to stack up boxes on my back that I've collected along the way.
Yes.
All the dropped FedEx packages.
Yes. Which one may have my phone in? Yes.
And, yeah, all these Amazon packages and so to me it's the gameplay that doesn't make sense. The story is convoluted and confusing. The art looks great. Character designs, they look just like the people. Good job on that. But everything else is just a fucking mess from what I can tell. So this, I don't know. If he wants to straddle that line in between independent and AAA title, then give it that between independent and AAA price. Like, I'll pay $30. I'll tell you what. As soon as this game hits $30, I'll buy it.
Okay.
And then I'll play it.
And then I want a full review.
Oh, you'll get it. Don't worry. You will get a full review because I'll play this game for one delivery and be done. I can guarantee that.
I can't wait for that. I'm so excited. Good. Feel like anything else you need to get out or venture, or you feel like needs to be said?
Like, dude, I don't know. That pisses me off.
I just meant anything in general.
Oh, sorry. I just.
You uncultured swine.
I
That's
know.
great.
I'm so unintelligent because
we only prefer first-person shooters in this country.
Yeah. Hey, fucking spoiler alert, Hideo. No, I don't. I enjoy much more of a
Spider-Man was a great game.
yeah, third-person action adventure. I love those. Yeah, just went through Jedi Fallen Order. You cunt. Anyway. This is what happens when you break off from a AAA publisher.
You know, when I thought, I didn't realize till afterwards. I thought when he did that he was going to be taking those Metal Gear rights with him. I'm very upset that he didn't.
He should have just made a Metal Gear 6. And just
some kind of spin-off. But
Something.
No, apparently this is a franchise that's already in the works because they're already working on the second one. So.
Oh, God.
Yes. You good?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, good deal. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us today. I think that's going to about wrap it up for us today. Time codes, Instagram and Twitter and everything will be in the description below. And y'all, have a great day.